It's July the 18th, picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their Pick 8. Sign up with our code MLB SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is loaded up with a ton of picks for the British Open. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is, what did we just say it was? It's Thursday, the 18th of July. We've had a little break. I don't know what day it is. We are here to handicap the first slate of games back from the All-Star break on Friday, July the 19th. Joining me, and it is a big happy birthday to Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, happy birthday, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing better now, Malcolm. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate everyone who wished me a happy birthday today. But yeah, like we were talking before we went live, I feel like I haven't been on the pod in a while. But yeah, it's good to be back. Good to give out some winners for tomorrow. And did you enjoy the All-Star break? I know the girl kind of ruined the home run derby for us with the drunken national anthem. Did you hear about that?
We talked about it the other night. Yeah, it was good. In fact, we talked about it on the Premier League show, not on the baseball show. Me and Baz. I told all the English football supporters to go and give it a listen. And yeah, but she's come out and said she's had a few problems, so we'll leave her alone. I've got some birthday questions for you, Dylan. I need to know some certain things. Question number one: how old are you today?
Oh, man. Tough one. Yeah, I'm 29 today, unfortunately. So you think of two ways. It's either like, you're closer to 30, or you could be grateful. I'm going more towards the grateful because,
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you know what? At the end of the day, it's inevitable, the end of all of us eventually. But it's not inevitable to see your next birthday. So I'm grateful to see 29. And yeah, big 3-0 next year, man. It's going to be crazy.
Well, we'll have to start planning for the big 3-0. So 39, 29. No, yeah, so 29. Next year, okay. So I'm 50 next year, which means we can have a double celebration, Dylan. We'll have to get Moonaf. Moonaf's got enough money. He can shell out for it. We'll meet somewhere in the middle, somewhere halfway, wherever's halfway between New York and Newcastle. We'll get Moonaf to shell out for a 30th/50th birthday party. Next question is, have you had birthday cake yet?
No, I'm actually having that as soon as we're done with here. My parents just went out to go and get it. So, yeah, I can't wait for that. What is your favorite kind of cake? Mine's ice cream cake.
You see, I'm not sure we have ice cream cake in this country. The only time I ever hear about it is on TV programs. So, like The Office, they're always having ice cream cake. They have a big fight about it quite a lot, don't they? The party planning committee, etc. But I don't really understand what ice cream cake is. I know what ice cream is, and I know what cake is, but I'm not sure what the combo is.
Real quick, I just looked up the halfway point between Newcastle upon Tyne and New Jersey, and it said Greenland.
Oh, fucking hell. Thermal underwear then, Dylan. Looks like it's going to be...
Have you been to Greenland?
Of course I haven't been to Greenland. There's nothing there. It's a big wasteland. It's a tundra. Me, you, Moonaf, and some polar bears. That's all that's happening up there, mate.
I think we'll just go to Moonaf's mansion. He has enough room for us. I think we'll be fine.
We'll go somewhere else. So yeah, cake-wise, I'll eat anything, mate. Traditionally in this house we have a Colin the Caterpillar cake. Everyone has to get a Colin the Caterpillar cake, which is just a big long cake with the caterpillar's face on the front. Nice British tradition. Finally, are you going out to drink birthday beers later on?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I like to use our word that we use on the pod. Gonna get belligerent hopefully tonight. Yeah, when I was in Colorado for the few days, the elevation and the altitude, it really hit me because there's Colorado. If you haven't been to the state, it's a big brewery, big alcohol state, and up on elevation, I was about 9 to 10,000 feet above sea level, and I'm telling you, it's a thing. I had 2 to 3 beers, and it's like 6 or 7 when you're on sea level. I was like, am I a lightweight now? But no, I mean, you really felt it.
Yeah, when you're young, you always think it's a good idea. Like the more you drink, the more manly you are. But
Yeah.
when you get older, you realise it's just twice as expensive. I'm much happier getting a little
Yeah,
beer buzz off 3 or 4 pints than off 6 or 7, and
exactly.
saving 20 quid for my kebab on the way home. Um, Comments live and kicking as always. Bennett was first in. Bennett, how you doing? Nice to have you along. TVDBJ, he's 30 next year as well. Michael's joined us as well. So if you are lurking in the chat, by all means say hello. Trev's hit us with the first incredible stat, which we can use on the show, but it's on the first game, so give us 30 seconds and we'll get to that. Little break, first full card back. I handicapped this earlier on, and I had it was almost like a little opening day feeling because
Yeah, same.
all the lines were out really, really early. I handicapped this kind of lunchtime on Thursday for me. So about 28 hours before the first pitch, all the lines were out, all the pitches were out. There's been 2 or 3 little pitching changes, little tweaks, but we got lines. The other thing, which is never normally a good sign, I just felt really confident looking at all the games. There was loads of dogs that I like. There was loads of stuff that I just instantly was drawn to. So I'm full of confidence still in, which, like I say, is generally a terrible, terrible sign. But we'll see. Let's get stuck into it. Maybe if you can back me up on a few of these plays, we can pick some winners. As Ralph Garcia joins us from Chicago. Ralph, welcome along. Nice to have you with us. The Sports Gambling Podcast is getting you ready for college football with their conference previews. Tune in wherever you get your podcasts or on the SGPN app. Underdog Fantasy just launched their college football best ball product. First place wins $20,000 plus the high roller pick'em allows you to win 325 times your entry. I did say yesterday we've got a little competition going here in house. Our code is MLB SGPN. So if you're thinking of signing up, go and use that. Do us a favour. You'll get your special pick. You'll get a first-time deposit, the $250 in bonus cash. But you need to use our code MLB SGPN. And the Circa Survivor and Circa Millions are back. $16 million. $10 million for the Survivor. $6 million for the Millions, which is 5 picks against the spread. Sign up in person, then use the footballcontestproxy.com to play from anywhere. $50 discount there with the promo code SGP. That is footballcontestproxy.com for the Circa Millions and the Circa Survivor. Right, second half starts again, Dylan. I worked out, Dylan. I didn't work out exactly. There's about between 950 and 1,000 games left in this season. I don't see why you should get more than 8 of those wrong. I've decided that's your target between now and the end of the year. So I'll be keeping a tally on that. We're going to start with 2:20 Eastern first pitch between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Chicago Cubs. Officially TBD on both sides, but I've seen lines all day long. So I think our pitching matchup is accurate, which is Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks and Justin Steele for the Cubs. D-Picks are -125. Cubs are +105. Total is 7.5. And this is one of the games where I was immediately confident. Zach Gallen's been struggling a little bit lately. 6-4 and 3 earned runs in his last 3 starts. That's 13 earned runs in 13 innings pitched in his last 3. For Gallen, he's got a 4.65 ERA. He had 1 start at the Cubs last year and gave up 7 earned runs in that. And Steele's in very, very good form. 36 and a third in his last 5 games. So he's averaging over 7 innings per game there. He's only given up 8 earned runs in that span. The Cubs won 4 of those. He's got a 2.13 June ERA, a 0.56 July ERA. The Cubs are over 500 at home. The Diamondbacks are under 500 on the road. And final nail in the coffin is Trev's fact. The Cubs are 15-4 in the first game after the All-Star break in the last 19 years. Every box is ticked in the favour of the Chicago Cubs at an underdog price of plus 105, Dylan.
Yeah, I don't know why the books made the Snakes the favorite. I couldn't agree more. Zach Allen on the road just isn't as good as he is at home. And I think Steele is in recent form. Like last year, he's been really good after getting on the team. Cubs, they were playing well going into the All-Star break as well. They're finally hitting, scoring some runs. And, I think they could have success against Gallen, who, like you mentioned, he struggled in the month of July so far. I don't trust their bullpen either. And then Trev's stat just was the icing on the cake. So thanks to Trev for that. That was amazing. And I just think the wrong team is favorite. So happily, it's like you said, it's like opening week. I love taking the home dogs early on. So let's take the home dog here early with the Cubs on the money line plus 105.
Okay, a little bit of day sport that is for me. That's the only afternoon game. But we move on to a 6:40 Eastern first pitch between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Phillies have had Aaron Nola confirmed all day long. Pittsburgh TBD, but I'm seeing Quinn Priester, and we've seen lines all day for the Pirates. At minus 135, Philadelphia, plus 115, Pittsburgh, total 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a trend, so just keep that in mind. I handicap Mitch Keller. So, and how many times do we do this where we handicap the wrong pitcher and they wind up changing literally 24 hours before the first pitch? So regardless if it's Quinn or Mitch Keller, I'm going to take the Phillies here. I made him a minus 140 favorite here. Should be a good game, I thought, if it was going to be Keller and Nola. But, Nola and the Phillies, they've looked good going into the All-Star break as well. And if you do like the Pirates, I would back them in the first 5 innings because their bullpen does concern me. I think early on they might be competitive, but their bullpen, once it comes in, concerns me. But I feel like the Phillies bullpen has been a nice surprise. I think that was the major issue for them in recent years was their bullpen. It hasn't been that bad this season. It's been a nice surprise for them. And the Pirates, they just struggle at home. The better team, better pitcher, better lineup. I got to take the Phillies here at this short price. So minus 135, whatever you could get under minus 140. I think the Phillies are a good play.
Yeah, it's a team right here. I like the Phillies at this price. I didn't get much further than better team, better pitcher. I mean, considerably better pitcher as well, Nola over Priester. The couple of flies in the ointment for me were Pittsburgh were on a little win streak, a 4-game win streak before the break. We have had a break. And now Trev making the counter argument that the Phillies had 5 guys in the All-Star game. And now, so a little travel spot there. And then a travel spot to Pittsburgh here. So Trev makes the counter argument there for Pittsburgh. But I'm with you, Dylan. I'm going to take Philly at minus 135. Next up is a 6:45 Eastern first pitch between the Cincinnati Reds and the Washington Nationals. It is Frankie Montas for the Reds. Patrick Corbin will go for the Nationals. The Reds here are minus 120. The Nationals even money, plus 100. The total at 8.5. Frankie Montas on the season is 4-7 with a 4.38 ERA. His last start before the break was a bad one. He gave up 5 earned runs against Colorado, but he'd been fairly consistent before that. His junior ERA was 3.55. If he's slightly better on the road as well, he got a nice win against the Yankees in there. Patrick Corbin, I initially saw Mackenzie go here, and now we're seeing Patrick Corbin, and the prices haven't changed. I was happy to take Cincinnati against Mackenzie Go, and I'm happier to take them against Corbin because as much as, Munaf loves Patrick Corbin Day, we know this, but he's just that consistent. He's given up 4-3, 4-3. And the results of those games are they lose 6-2, they lose 7-6, they lose 5-0, they lose 7-6. So he gives up a few and they lose. That's what happens. Montas is going okay. I like Cincinnati to have a decent second half of the season as well. I'm going to be on the red side quite a bit, unless they do something terrible to make me change my mind. But this is a good starting point here. I like the Reds at -120.
See, Michael in the chat says he sees Hunter Green for Cincinnati as well. I handicap Mackenzie Gore and Hunter Green as well. And if that was the case, which I don't think it will be, I did make the Nationals a -125 favorite. So I was happy to take the plus money here with the Nationals at home, but it does worry me. I think you make a good point. Them not changing the line with the change of pitchers does worry me a little bit. And I would take Frankie Montas. I'm not a big fan of him, but I mean, neither am I about Patrick Corbin. Frankie Montas does pitch better on the road. Reds offense has been hot coming into this, going into the second half. They hit lefties pretty well, but I guess I was siding with the Nationals because I expected the Nationals to come out with a little bit of urgency, and play a little bit more of aggressive at the plate, especially. I mean, they're an okay team. I don't think they're that terrible, so I was hoping for a bounce back start here for the Nationals and Gore. And I'm just really not a fan of Hunter Green or Frankie Montas. So it was a total stay away from me. But I guess first game back, why not? Let's take the home puppy again.
Okay, we will move along to a 7:05 Eastern first pitch between the Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees. It is Zach Eflin for Tampa Bay in this spot. Garrett Cole goes for the Yankees. The Yankees are a short favourite, -192. The Rays +160. Total of 8, Dylan. You on mute there, Dylan? Come on, birthday boy, sort it out.
Oh my God, sorry about that. Yeah, going with my first total here, and we have actually the correct pitchers. I'm gonna go over 8 -115. I made my total a 9. So the Yankees, they've been an over team for most of the year, especially at home in that little league field, especially right field. 4 out of his last 5 meetings between these two clubs have gone over the total as well. So we usually are seeing higher scoring games. And Garrett Cole, in my opinion, he hasn't really looked that good since coming back. I wonder how he'll perform at home coming back from break. And Rays, they average around they do average a run more per game on the road than they do at home. So, and with how bad Eflin has been, he's given up 3+ runs on the road in 7 of his last 8 road starts. So I think both teams are going to be able to get some runs here tomorrow. So over 8 -115, I think that's a good play.
Yeah, Zach Eflin was struggling a little bit for consistency. Actually saw the Yankees on his last start, 7 innings, 1 earned run, pitched really, really well. They did lose that game 2-1. He's got really good career numbers against the Yankees, 3-2 with a 1.50 ERA and a 48-6 strikeout to walk rate. So I think he can go well here. Garrett Cole's still settling in since he returned this season. He's on a bit of a bad start pattern. Trying to find his rhythm. He was good last time against Baltimore, but his 2 home starts so far haven't been great. The Yankees aren't in great form, and I think the values with Tampa here, they're a very big price. If Eflin gets a good start like he did last time, +160 is a really big price for me. Yeah, I'm going to take the big underdog Tampa Bay Rays. This might be one for you here, Dylan, because the All-Star game doesn't get on my radar even a little bit. Ralph's asking,
you don't watch it?
If you handicap. Go on, mate. If Ralph's asking if you handicap All-Star game pitches any differently than those that have had a break.
Yeah, I do, especially the ones who start. But usually, normally, it's not too much wear and tear. Usually, you only see an inning and a half of these pitchers. They usually don't go past that. So, like Trev said, travel situations I factor in. But if they don't really have to travel too far, and most of them really aren't pitching, especially starters, the first game coming back. So nothing too crazy, but I do adjust my handicap a little different for the starters. But one thing I think the All-Star game is going to a shit, especially and I used to love the All-Star game, but the uniforms are the worst uniforms I've ever seen. Can we go back to the old school where everyone just wore their own jersey? Because you'd be like, wow, that guy was from the Mets. Oh, that guy was from the Mariners. Nowadays, it's that throw up American League. It's despicable, honestly. What they're doing is atrocious, I think.
Despicable. That's a great description. I didn't expect that, Dylan. I believe, Dylan, that is happening. I believe they
Good.
are going back to
Good.
wearing their own jerseys the next year than the year after. Something to do with the Nike contract, some bollocks like that. I listen to loads of podcasts and they've all talked about that. And like I say, it doesn't get on my radar at all. I don't get it. It's like the Hall of Fame when we have that argument, our annual argument dealing with the Hall of Fame. It's the same for me, but I do believe they are going back to their own original jerseys. Next is a 7:07 first pitch between the Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. I saw pictures for this all day. Both pitchers have now changed. The odds haven't changed much on the game, though. It is Jack Flaherty going for the Detroit Tigers and Chris Bassett going for the Blue Jays. It's tight on the books. The Tigers are minus 105. The Blue Jays are minus 115. And the total is still at 7.5. Has that moved as well? No, it's 7.5. So yeah, a bit of an odd one, this. Mm-hmm. Jack Flaherty had a bad start last time out against the LA Angels. Otherwise, he's been fine. And Chris Bassett for the Blue Jays, he gave up 3 and 4, in his last 2. The Blue Jays have lost 4 of his last 5. And I always struggle to take the Blue Jays. I just think this is a good spot. Flaherty's been in really good form. I initially handicapped Scooble for this and really liked Detroit. But the presence of Flaherty and Bassett don't change anything for me. So I'm going to take the Tigers here. Minus 105 Detroit.
Yeah, I'm still going to take the Tigers as well. I handicapped Kevin Gausman and Tariq Skubal, but I'm still going to take the Tigers here. Jack Flaherty's actually been better on the road than he is at home. He's an inning machine. He just eats up innings. He goes 5-6 innings basically every start he makes. I would look at a strikeout prop as well. Blue Jays, not a really good team. I'm just looking to fade them. I know like the Cardinals, you and I, we're big on fading them as well, but yeah, I'm looking to fade the Blue Jays here in this second half. They have a tough schedule, one of the worst bullpens in the American League as well. I really don't want to back them. There are going to be opportunities where we get a good price on the Blue Jays, and I think we're going to have to take them. But I just don't think this one is it. Even if it was Skubal or Jack Flaherty, I think they have the pitching advantage here. So I'm going to take the Tigers here on the road.
Okay, we will move on to Dylan's New York Mets when we tell you about Rhythm, the British Open, or the Open, to give it its proper name. It's this week. And if you're not checking out the AI picks and props from Rhythm, you're missing out. Not just outright winners. They've got picks for top 5, top 10, and top 20. Use their AI caddy to get some great data insights. I actually saw Adam Rosenberg, from the network, who did the home run derby show with Scott at the weekend, used the AI caddy today and had a nice little winner on Mackenzie Hughes in the golf. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. I had another birthday question I forgot to ask you. What's the best gift you've received so far, Dylan?
Oh, wow. Gift I've received. I mean, I'm not really at the age where I get gifts anymore, but yeah, I guess the best gift I got myself is I took myself to the UFC event in Denver, so that's kind of why I went over there. So I had good seats to see the UFC event. Yeah,
I'm happy with that. Very nice. Your New York Mets, Dylan, will start at 7. Back to the top of the page, isn't it? 7:10, 7:10 Eastern. New York Mets at the Miami Marlins. Sean Manaea going for the Mets. Pitching change here for Miami was Trevor Rogers, is now Edward Cabrera. The Mets are minus 135, the Marlins plus 110. Total here is 8, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Mets here on the money line. I got minus 130. Minus 135 is still good. My numbers gave them a minus 145 favorite. I know a lot of people really don't like to back Sean Manaea, but he's actually been really solid on the road for the Mets this season. He already has a win over the Fish back in Miami earlier in the season. And let's not forget, the Mets lead the league in runs scored per game on the road, averaging around 5.34 runs per game. You know, Fish, they're just not a good team at home. They don't hit well against lefties. I do worry about our bullpen. That is the one thing we need to fix because our bullpen is not good. But, it hasn't been the best all season. We've still managed to win some games against a bad team like the Fish. I think we could. I think we could win here. The total seems about spot on. Mine came out to 8.5. I do lean over, but I just think with the Mets, Sean and they have the pitching advantage, and they're going to rake against Trevor Rogers. So I'm going to take the Mets here comfortably, -130.
Yeah, Trev pointing out the Marlins against left-handed pitching is an auto lose. I've got the same play here. Manaya's been in great form. Won 4 starts in a row against decent Obo as well. Home road splits not bothering him at all. The Mets are playing quite well. I watched Edward Cabrera's last start. It was one of my YouTube short plays that I put out. And he was pitching okay and then giving up a home run. And he gave up, I haven't got the game log in front of me. He gave up 7 earned runs, but I'm sure 6 of them were solo bombs. He just gave up home run after home run after home run. It was insanity. So, yeah, he's given up 7, 2, 4, and 4. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with Miami, really. The Mets at -135, I think, is a solid price, right in that danger price zone. But I'm all right with it. Next on the card, 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the San Diego Padres and the Cleveland Guardians. Matt Waldron will go for the Friars. For the Guardians, it will be Tanner Beebe. It's a match on the books, -111 each of 2, with a total here of 7.5. Matt Waldron for the Padres has been good. I quite enjoy watching him. He's got a little bit about him. He's a little bit different. Throws that knuckleball. And I think he's trending in the right direction as well. Even though Atlanta got to him last time out, he's been good on the road. Got no issues with him there at all. Tanner Beebe giving up 4 earned runs in each of his last 2 starts. He's not nearly as good at home, actually, a 4.69 home ERA. I like the Padres here. The only thing that puts me off slightly is Cleveland have got that terrifying home record of 30-11. But I'm prepared to give the Padres a shot here. I prefer Waldron. The Padres aren't a bad side either, being in decent form. Give me the Padres at -111.
Yeah, both teams really not playing that well going into the break. But like you said, Guardians, they've been one of the best teams in the first half, 30-11 straight up, one of the best records in the league at home. And I just feel like the Guardians are going to want to come out into the second half like they started the first half of the season, play really good baseball, defensively hit and score a lot of runs. And yeah, Matt Waldron has actually been better than I expected. I wasn't really a fan of him, but you're right. He actually has been serviceable for the Padres. I just think here against an aggressive lineup like who I think has to come out and set the tone early in the second half, I think this might be a good spot for the Guardians, but I think it's right. It's a pick them for a reason. I only made the Guardians a -120 favorite, so slightly in here with the home team, but I really don't think this is something I'll really get to the window with. But for the show, I do lean Cleveland.
Yeah, that was one of the tighter games on the card, Dylan, to have a look at. I completely agree with you. 7:20 Eastern first pitch is the St. Louis Cardinals at the Atlanta Braves. Sonny Gray is slated for the Cardinals. For Atlanta, it's one of the biggest names in baseball. It's Spencer Schwellenbach going for the Braves. So a -172, the Cards +145, and the total here is at 7.5, Dylan. My initial thought was that that's far too short for Schwellenbach, Dylan. Am I right?
Oh yeah, I mean, right now, I like as you said, I handicapped Max Fried and Sonny Gray, and I was able to get a +145 with Sonny Gray going against them, but then it went down. Cardinals were around +114, and now you're telling me there's another new pitcher. So at this price, I mean, they have to be the favorite, the Cardinals. I know Sonny Gray isn't the best on the road, but I mean, I think I'm going to start turning around over with the Cardinals. I know we wanted to fade them, but they are playing a lot better than I think you and I and a lot of people anticipated since really not making too many moves in the offseason. I know he has over 5 ERA. He's not the best on the road, but this is their ace going against a team in the Braves that have kind of struggled offensively. I mean, I feel like the value is with the Cardinals here as a dog, right?
I don't think I could back them because I don't really like him, and just Sonny Gray's just not been as good lately.
Yeah.
His raw DRA is poor, 509. He's 0-3 career against Atlanta. But Schwellenbach gives up his fair share. In fact, he either gives up 1 or 4. So it depends which one it is, really. I'm going to go for 4. I think this total's too low. Like I said, the books haven't really adjusted to many of these pitching changes. I've seen new pitchers slide in and out today, and I haven't seen the lines move. And this total was at 7.5 with Fried, which I think makes sense. But 7.5 with Schwellenbach and Sonny Gray, I don't think that doesn't make sense at all. Is it where we used to? Yeah, let's have a look. The over 7.5. Yeah, no, it's there's no. It's a match here. It's both a -110. So yeah, I'm happily going to take the over 7.5.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals against the Braves. Next game on the board, 8:05 Eastern first pitch is the Baltimore Orioles and the Texas Rangers. Both pitches are officially TBD, but the pitchers slated haven't changed all day, I don't think. From Cole Irvin for the Baltimore Orioles and John Gray for the Texas Rangers, -166 Baltimore, +140. So +130 actually, a little bit of line movement there for the Texas Rangers, and the total is sitting at 8, Dylan.
See, this is ridiculous. I handicapped Corbin Burns. Regardless, but I did get John Gray. Regardless, I still like the under here. You know, going back with an under, my total came out to an 8. You know, I think we got 2 good pitchers. I know John Gray got rocked his last start against the Orioles, but you know, we just saw Corbin Burns pitch that great 1 inning. He started the game off well. He shut down the Rangers in early June as well. He only gave up 1 run in 7 innings of work. Meanwhile, Gray at home, I feel like he's kind of been up and down. 1 good performance, 1 poor performance. Like I said, he did just get hammered by the Orioles team back in June. But if you look at the Orioles' last 5 games heading into the break, they weren't scoring a ton of runs, just 8 runs in the last 5 games. That's not like the Orioles at all. And Rangers, they've kind of been an under team this whole year, mainly because their offense has kind of went MIA. And I don't think it's been going the way we've anticipated. So I think regardless whether it's Cole Irvin or Corbin Burns, 2 good pitchers, I think we're going to see a lower scoring game here. So I'm going to take an under 8.5 here.
Yeah, if I'm taking this bet now, I'd be ticking the box whereby if the pitching changes, I get my money back, because there's no way Cole Irvin should be this price ever, really. -166. You just mentioned Baltimore weren't in great form coming in, but Cole Irvin certainly isn't. Lost 4 games in a row and has given up 4-5, 4-4, and 5 in his last 5. So there's no chance I can back him. John Gray's been inconsistent, but 3 earned runs in his last 2 and a 3.86 home ERA still puts him in a better spot here than Irvin at +120. Baltimore 3-7 in the last 10. Texas 7-3. Far too big a price here. Like I say, it was 140. It's now singing 130. Still a fair price. I will take Texas Rangers as a home puppy. Next game on the board is the 8:10 Eastern first pitch between the Chicago White Sox and the Kansas City Royals, where Chris Flexen starts for the White Sox. It is Michael Wacha for the Royals, -200 Kansas City, +165 for the White Sox. Total here of 9, Dylan. Shortest price favourite on the board here, Kansas City Royals with Michael Wacha.
Yeah, I mean, finally we got a game where I got the 2 right pitchers. As long as we're getting plus money here on the Royals, I think this is a good play for them on the run line. The White Sox, I think they're just in full tank mode. They're about to trade some of their players and some their key player, the good players that they have. So I don't think they're going to be very competitive these next 2 months, especially on the road. Meanwhile, we just talked with the Guardians about their amazing road record. Royals are just as good, 31-18 straight up at home this year. And, do we really have to think about fading Chris Flexen? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. White Sox 1-6 straight up on the road in his 7 road games, and 5 of those 7, the White Sox have lost by 2 or more runs. So plus 110, as long as we're able to get plus money, I'm going to take the Royals here on the run line.
Yeah, I've got even money that price. I know that because it's my pick as well, Dylan. It's not big or clever. Flexion's consistent. He gives up 3 or 4 earned runs, and then the White Sox lose. That's what happens. Wacker, 3.49 home ERA. 5 of his last 6 wins, all covered on the run line. So that's good enough for me. Trev's come with a stat. Trev, have you got a day off work today, Trev? Because he's coming with a good stats today. He's putting us to shame, Dylan.
I know.
I'm going to start claiming them as my own, and not anyone who's not on the live stream would. Oh, this is Trev. Did you know, Dylan, that the White Sox, when flexing pitches, have been run lined in 10 of 12 starts? I think that's right off the top of my head. I know, yeah. I worked all day on that stat.
That's a crazy stat.
Kansas City on the run line. 8:40 Eastern first pitch. San Francisco Giants at the Colorado Rockies. Both TBD, but both been listed all day to me as Logan Webb for the San Francisco Giants, Kyle Freeland for the Rockies. Minus 185. The Giants, plus 155. The Rockies. Total of 10. I love Colorado here. Big old dog play. Logan Webb gave up 7 earned runs last time against the Blue Jays. His ERA on the road is a whole run worse. He's got a 4.24 career ERA in Coors, which isn't terrible. But the Giants shouldn't be minus 185 against anyone. And like I say, Webb doesn't inspire that much confidence, certainly not a minus 185 level of confidence. And Kyle Freeland came back into the rotation mid-June. He's been absolutely outstanding. 26 innings, 5 earned runs, 3 wins in a row. And you're giving me plus 155. I mean, the Giants are bang average at best. Give me Colorado here. Great price.
Yeah, I love this game. Another game where I got both pitchers. I'm gonna take a total here, and we are almost to the point where I do like the Rockies as well. I made my total 11. I only made the Giants a minus 150 favorite, so anything above a plus 150, I do like the Rockies. And Ralph mentioned, or he asked about handicapping pitchers. I think this is a good example of one where you have to fade Logan Webb. He threw 35 pitches in that All-Star game. He gave up 3 runs in just 1 innings of work. So we know he's not the same pitcher on the road than he is at home. On the road, I usually look to fade him, and at home, I do like to back him. He gives up a lot of hard contact. Now going up to altitude, where I was just at, where the Rockies, they do hit well. I know they're not the best team, but at home, they do hit well. They're averaging around 4.67 runs per game at home. 2 bottom 5 bullpens in the National League. So I think we're going to see runs tomorrow. I do think Rockies are live here as well.
Next is a 9:40 Eastern first pitch between the LA Angels and the Oakland Athletics. Same boat again here. Officially TBD, but I am happy with the pitches being Tyler Anderson for the Angels and JP Sears for Oakland. This one's quite close on the books. Minus 120, the Angels. The Athletics are even money. And the total here is at 8.5.
Yeah, I handicap Griffin Canning, so... regardless, I do like the A's here at home. I made him a minus 127 favorite if it was Griffin Canning. My total around 7.9. To be honest, generally speaking, I don't think the A's and Angels are too far apart in my opinion. The A's here, I got a crazy Trev stat for you. As a favorite, A's are 7-2 straight up, surprisingly enough. So they've been profitable as favorites this season. They just swept the Angels before the All-Star break as well. And Griffin Canning on the road is a can. No pun intended. 0-7 straight up. So, based on recent history, how bad the Angels bullpen is, I can't in good faith back the Halos here on the road. So regardless of who it is, I know Tyler Anderson is a much better pitcher, but I'm still going to back the A's here.
I much prefer the Angels here. I prefer Anderson to Sears. there's not much between these two teams. The books have actually adjusted. It's a match now. Both teams here are -110, and I don't really. I want Anderson over Sears is the long and short of it, really, in this spot. The game, apart from that, is a bit of a coin toss. But I'm happy to take Tyler Anderson and trust him. Like you say, they did just get that couple of good results against the Athletics last week. So yeah, Tyler Anderson and the Angels at -110. The penultimate game on the show is a 10-10 Cowboy time first pitch between the Boston Red Sox and the LA Dodgers. Nick Pivetta has been listed all day for the Red Sox. The Dodgers are officially TBD. I believe it is. Is his name Landon Knack? It is Landon, isn't it? Yeah. Landon Knack going for the Dodgers. The Red Sox are +120. The Dodgers -140. Total here sits at 8.5. Dylan, you got much on this?
No, because I handicapped the wrong pitcher. Again, I had James Paxton. I thought it was going to be him. If it was him, I made him a -150. So I took the -130 earlier in the day with the Dodgers. I gotta go on my sports book and I gotta see if they refunded me these bets, because if it's not the right pitchers, they should give me my money back. But if it is Paxton, I think he's been great at home for the Dodgers. 3-0, 2.67 ERA. Batters only hitting 212 off of him. Dodgers, they usually win when he starts at home. 5 of the last 6 home starts, they won. He's only allowed 3 runs at home twice this year. And Red Sox, they really don't hit lefties well. They're more of a righty hitting team. And another reason I have a tough time backing the Sox is Pivetta is so up and down. He's another guy that's kind of hard to read. He'll have a good start, then he'll give up 4 runs and they'll lose to the Athletics. So you never really know what you're going to get out of him. I can't seem to get him right. I'm going to take the Dodgers. I know they haven't been playing well going into the break, but I do think they are the better team. So -130 if it is these two.
Yeah, Nick Pivetta, he's got one good start against Miami last time, which doesn't say much in his game log. But standard, he's just given up 4 or 5 runs nearly every start. Landon Knack's been okay. He's now had 7 starts through the rotation. But recently, I've just seen signs that the league are maybe catching up with him. It's kind of a shaky area. You get the little honeymoon period, and then the league have a little look at you, and all of a sudden, there's a little bit of trouble appears on the horizon. And that's the issue I think we've got with Knack here. He's been knocked out early twice in recent losses against Philadelphia and Arizona. I think both pitchers are vulnerable here. I haven't got very many totals on my card at all, because I felt quite bullish about a lot of these sides. But this one, I'm going to take the total of 8.5. Finally, we will go to, and this is a big old series, actually, maybe the biggest series of the weekend, 10-10 first pitch, the Houston Astros and the Seattle Mariners. Hunter Brown is now listed as the starter for the Astros, was initially Framber Valdez. Luis Castillo will go for the Mariners, who are -135. Houston are +110. And the total, as always, with the Seattle Mariners is 7. Dylan, can you finish us off with a winner?
Yeah, Mal, we love to take these unders at home for the Mariners, but 7 is a little too small in my opinion. Hunter Brown and Luis Castillo is the matchup. I made my total 7.6. Look, how poorly Hunter Brown has been on the road. 5.70 ERA on the road this season. He already has 2 losses on the season against this Mariner team, so a lot of familiarity there. And meanwhile, Luis Castillo, he's been great at home this season, but he's also known to give up 2 to 3 runs himself. I think both pitchers give up their fair share. And the Mariners bullpen isn't as good as we're accustomed to seeing. Usually they're like a top 5 bullpen. They're middle of the pack this year. So maybe a 5-3 type game, 6-3 type game. Not the strongest play, but I do lean over based on principle. It's just too small.
Yeah, I think those Hunter Brown road numbers maybe slightly misleading, because at the start of the season, he was an absolute train wreck. But he's really pulled himself together and pitched how we know he can, how we saw him pitch at the back end of last season. As ERA is coming down month on month from that ugly 11.84 in April, 3.42 in May, 116 in 5 games started in June. 3 starts in July have been okay. So I expect Hunter Brown to be fine here. Luis Castillo's last couple of starts have been good. He's a little bit better at home, 5-3 with the 2.98 ERA. Now, the total, we knew it was going to be low. Like I say, it's a big series. I think this is closer than the books have got it. Seattle can absolutely hear the footsteps here of Houston coming after them. And I'm going to take Houston. Initially, I was happy to take them plus 125 with Valdez now nipped in a little bit to plus 110. But I'm still going to side with Houston. They could come out of this series in front in this division and maybe stretch their legs after that. So, yeah, give me Houston in this last game. Dylan, 15 games, kind of in the books, a few pitches kind of all over the place, which is nobody's fault. But have you got a lock and a dog for us?
Yeah, let's go to games I've actually had pitchers on. Yankees and Rays. I'm gonna go over 8 as my lock. Like I said, I feel like just the way the Yankees have been playing defensively, not the best. And we know when their offense is cooking in that little league field, I think we'll be able to see some runs. I know Zach Eflin has a good career versus the Yankees, but like I said, he's given up 3+ runs on the road in 7 of his last 8 games. So I do think we'll see some runs there. Over 8 is going to be my lock in that game. And for my dog, I mean, I was going to take the Royals plus 110, but you said it's at even money right now. Why not? Let's take the Cubbies. Just based off Trev's stat, I mean, game 1's coming off of All-Star break. They look good against Zach Allen, who's just not good on the road. I think this is a good spot for them at home. Offense has looked much better than we've accustomed to seeing. So I'll take the Cubs here as a short dog at home.
I've got quite a lot to choose from here. Like I say, I'm confident. I will take, and I apologise to this upfront to you, Dylan. The New York Mets are going to be my lock. Don't roll. I saw him roll his eyes there. Did you see that, people? The Mets at minus 135. Sean Manaea against Edward Cabrera. The Marlins are just a right old mess. And I think the Mets could be fun this second half. Manaea, you can't pick holes in what Manaea's done. Recently, 4 starts in a row. The Mets have won for him. So, yeah, I'll take Manaea. And the dog is where I've got all the choice here. I like Tampa at plus 160. I like the Cubs as a baby dog, but you've just taken them. Colorado plus 155. And I've got Texas at plus 130 as well. Ooh, I'm all over this. Let's go with Colorado. The Giants at minus 185 is ridiculous. Logan Webb might be okay, but it's Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland's not a bad pitcher. He was on the WBC team the start of last season. And he's come back a different guy. There was obviously something wrong with him early in the season. So you've got to back Freeland on his recent form. So I'll take Colorado at plus 155. And finally, Dylan, we need from you on your birthday dingers. What have you got?
Yeah, let me start by saying I suck at these home run picks. I mean, I haven't hit one since we started this segment back in June. So take this pick with a grain of salt. But I'm going to go to Salvador Perez to hit a home run over Chris Flexen. Flexen, he's given up 16 home runs this season and at least 1 home run given up in 6 of his last 7 starts. Perez, he already has a home run over Flexen in his career, and 14 of his 17 home runs this season have come by righties. He hit one right the last game before break. So he's seeing the ball well going into break. I think this could be a good spot for him in a game where I think we could see a lot of runs, especially on the Royal side. Yeah, give me the vet, Salvador Perez.
Okay. I'm a little bit torn between two. I do this a lot, I'm torn between 2, basically just to cover myself. So if one of them does, I can say, oh, well, I said him. I'll do it. I'm absolutely shameless. So I'm going to do it again here. One is a name. If I give you 100 guesses, you would never guess. Let me find these numbers. Scrolling through my numbers here. If I give you 100 guesses, you would never think I'm going to put out the name of Hunter Goodman for the Colorado. Yeah, you having that, Dylan? For the Colorado Rockies. Yes, Hunter Goodman batting 9 for the Rockies tomorrow. I like him, but he's just my backup plan. So if he does hit one, I can say I said him. It's the Cincinnati Reds. We're going to go against Washington, against Patrick Corbin, and I want the kid who's been hitting all the home runs recently. I'm not sure the spelling of his first name distresses me slightly, but it's going to be Rhys Hines, who seems to hit a home run every time he's at the plate lately. He won in that game that I watched last week when Edward Cabrera was giving up bombs to everyone. But Rhys Hines has been in great form. Got a lot of pop in his bat and can take out Patrick Corbin tomorrow. So that will be my pick. Dylan, anything you want to tell the people before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your birthday?
No, just it's good to be back. Can't wait to hopefully see how tomorrow's card turns out. I can't wait for that. But no, just gonna go enjoy my birthday and have a good night, and hopefully drink responsibly tonight.
Yes, drink responsibly, Dylan. We'll start the minute the show finishes. We'll start planning next year's 30th/50th celebrations in our igloo in Greenland, wherever the hell we're going. Thanks everyone in the chat. We appreciate it, especially Trev, the stats department on the MLB Gambling Podcast. It's Friday tomorrow, which means there will be a show. Someone will be here doing something. Good luck with your picks. Enjoy the return of the baseball. And until next time, we will see you down the road. Cheers.